If somebody comes in, leave a comment. I see one person. Que pasa, vato? I'm home alone for going on like 2.5 hours now. It's a long time for me to be alone. Who do I support 8? I don't understand how the question is phrased. If you're talking about politics, not Biden. See? If you're talking about the Marvel Universe, I support Wolverine and Deadpool in that order. I don't support Spider-Man so much. He's kind of overrated. Who do you support, Elion? Elion, I don't know if you've seen, but we got a second person in here. Yes, I am. 8 wing 7, sexual, social. Un momento. Sorry about that. I'm back. My family and friends. Those are good people to support. Especially now when the world's going to shit. Which is fun to watch. What are you, Ilion? Are you an 8 too? You guys like green or black? Eights and 5s are way different. 1 second. Is that level? Nope. We'll do both. I don't know if you guys noticed, but YouTube has been censoring the fuck out of people. So I'm promoting my BitChute channel. Fives and eights have way different energy. I mean, I tend to think that, and this isn't a rule, and I'm mixing systems. I'm doing everything you're not supposed to do, but in my experience, fives are introverts, eights are extroverts. Because fives are concerned about running out of energy. Fives have a finite amount of energy, and they don't want to expend it in their own head. Eights have an unlimited amount of energy, and we don't have a fucking clue when we're running out of it. Well, thank you. I don't know how I look different from a year ago. Got a bigger beard. Got some green earrings. A little shaggier hair. Oh, I'm probably a lot tanner. I've been working outside a lot. I put these fucking things right behind my head. Oh, well, you get it. Ilion, are you who was messaging me on Discord? I don't, I almost never use Discord. I don't really enjoy it that much. It's transient and it's clicky. So it's I don't know, it's got a weird dynamic where you can watch clicks sort of move in and out of different servers, and it's just petty. But let's see. I don't do much on Discord. I'm 28 days into my 30-day jail sentence on Facebook. Yeah. The 4. My partner. Yeah, it's an any app. And another thing I don't like about Discord is I have no idea who the fuck is who on Discord. You've got, I mean, your icon isn't you, your name isn't your name, and it changes all the time. I just can't keep track of that shit. So I end up talking to people regularly on Facebook, just other places, and thinking like, this is our first time talking, and I introduce myself, hi, nice to meet you, whatever. I'm in the ESTP 8-wing-7, and they're like, yeah, I know, we talked on Discord. Sorry, I can't keep that shit straight. A bit extreme in what way? But yeah, if you guys don't have a BitChute account, you should get one. Go ahead and sign up for BitChute. It's the best of the alternative platforms to YouTube, and YouTube is censoring people like a motherfucker. I actually had another channel that was just barely smaller than this one, but it was rapidly closing on it, and it got disabled. And I'm trying to tread lightly on this one too, because I've got some 17th letter of the alphabet sort of shit on this channel that I don't want to lose. So I'm trying not to get this channel taken down. I think that all this shit will settle out after the election. Oh, hi. How is shit in the fjord? Hey, what's up, Elijah? You know what? I was just stenciling my shit back here, and I had to move aside your stencils. Turns out it's pretty, I have more trouble finding a large manila envelope than I expected I would. Ileon, yes. I mean, no, not really, but I'm down to try if you want to. Let's use a code name. Let's use, his name will be Forager, and his dad will be Dan. Yes, yeet. I should put a yeet up. My girlfriend left me home alone, and she should have known better because the garage is spray painted. Somebody needs to ask me a question. Oh, you know what? I could do it. I started doing an apology video earlier today. I could just do that now. I know, right? It's fucked up. I owe an apology to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It's a YouTube channel that I listen to pretty regularly, even though I'm not an atheist. And I'm not, I mean, it's a very political show. And I disagree with like absolutely every single thing that they say or think. But I enjoy it. It makes an hour of the morning go quicker. What's up with the beard? It got here out of laziness, and it's staying because my daughter likes it. Basically, I had it about this long, and then I buzz it down to number one. You know, I use a number one clipper because I like that. You know, that look. But after I shaved the last time, my daughter's like, I don't like you without a beard. So I was like, all right, fine. What do you think about the beard? Should I keep it or lose it? I'm also getting some longer hair here. It's all laziness, really. Keep the beard, bro. My BitChute account is called Flow State. Yeah. Okay, so I owe them an apology. All right, so like I said, I listen to the Daily Atheist Morning Show really most mornings and participate in the live stream chat. And I'm the lone voice of conservatives because it's a very progressive group of guys. It's 3 dudes. And anyways, they got very progressive views. And I am a radical right-wing conspiracy theorist. So I'm the dissenting voice, but we get along. You know, we generally get along. They tolerate me. I try not to be too big of a douchebag. Well, today, Chris, who is the main dude, Chris Mallard, he was bashing Trump like per usual and said something about the economy and how the economy was in shambles, how Trump's economy was in shambles. And it's bitshoot.com/channel/flow state. How Trump's economy was in shambles and coronavirus saved the economy. And like there's not a single tiny bit of truth to that at all. So there's, you know, the three of them talking about how Trump ruined the economy and coronavirus saved it. And I'm in the chat, you know, well, I'm on my cell phone at work, like trying not to be noticed, furiously typing away that they're wrong. People are home, that they're wrong and blah, blah. And I get about 3 comments out, and then I credential flexed, which is something I don't like doing. And I don't respect when I see other people doing it. But I was trying to get noticed in a live stream chat, and I said, you know, something to the effect of, as somebody who's got an economics degree and was a bank officer for 7 years, I can tell you your economics are wrong. And I got noticed. About, you know, 2 beats later, the next comment that came up in the live chat was one of the admins, and he says, well, as a guy with a wrench, which means you're an admin, and that as a guy with a wrench, I'm not letting you spread disinformation during this live stream. And he deleted all my comments about the economy, which was shockingly bold. It was a really bold display of lack of good faith, lack of intellectual integrity, and general douchebaggery. So, and his name was something like the, what was it? The Amazing Wizard Pope or something. And I called him an amazing wizard pussy. And he blocked me, or, you know, put me in timeout from all commenting there. So I hopped to a different account and came back in and started talking mad shit. I mean, not mad shit, but enough shit. I think I called him, you know, a pedophile a few times and talked about how he's a pedophile, and I probably shouldn't have called him a pedophile, and I probably shouldn't have said the only thing more pedophilic than a pope is a wizard pope with that pointy phallic hat. And I really probably shouldn't have just hammered him so much about being a pedophile, which I don't know the guy. The jury's still out. I think it's likely that he's a pedophile just based on what a dick face he is, but he might not be. So, you know, it's not good to rush to conclusions about pedophile wizards. But then I'd get blocked on that one, and I just hopped to a different one and come back in, and I ended up kind of douching up the live stream chat, and they ended up ending the episode a little bit early. I don't, you know, probably because I derailed the chat completely. So I do truly owe an apology to Chris Mallard, who's the main host, and Naka Sutra, one of the co-hosts, and even Andy, the third co-host, who's kind of a prick and absolutely despises me, but whatever. He allows me to be in his live stream chats regularly, so I appreciate it, and I try not to be a dick face. That said, one, if you're gonna flex on somebody like this admin did, you should do it in a way that's not so easily butt fucked. Because then you just end up looking stupid and you get the live stream ruined because you pissed off somebody with like 12 different YouTube accounts that you can block me on. I don't give a fuck. Also, I hope that they get their admins in order, or this admin in order, because I mean, I don't feel like I should have to explain a because, but I do want to point out one thing. Like I said, I'm not an atheist. I've dabbled in the atheist community for a while. There's some cool people there that I just tripped across one day, but I never saw the point of creating an identity out of not something. I don't believe in Pegasus, but I don't identify myself as someone who doesn't believe in Pegasus. So I never understood being an atheist as an activity. And turns out, after interacting in the community, I still don't understand the fucking point of identifying as something that you're not. But one thing I have noticed is that atheists love to pat themselves on the back for being more rational and logical and scientific than theists, which they overlap a lot with conservatives. They sweep us all in the same bucket, which isn't accurate, but I suppose that there is some correlation. But I think that anybody who's gonna pat themselves on the back and present themselves as the more rational, more logical, this is what you brag about, right? Being rational. But then you can't have a rational discussion on economics. You censor the science and make fun of people for being anti-science if they don't social distance 6 feet. I mean, there's just an absurd hypocrisy that happened there that made my brain fucking pop. So that's that. But yeah, I didn't mean to apologize to Chris and them because it was petty of me. I shouldn't have called that admin a pedophile. It's yet to be determined if he's a pedophile. But you know, he's a fucking wizard pope. So he's a pedophile. Let me catch up on some comments. The beard makes me look smaller. I didn't have a nose job. It could also be the camera position. It's further away and higher up. I've broken my nose like 3 times. It's probably all sorts of mangled. Well, he wouldn't let me continue discussing in my normal account. So I had no choice. He left me with no choice. And also, I got edited for doing something that's totally above board. It's not like I was acting out or you know, dropping eggplant emojis all over the place. I was offering counter information. I mean, what Chris was saying was overtly, fundamentally wrong on every level it can be wrong on. Look at any economic metric. Trump's economy was great. Coronavirus crashed it. Coronavirus killed the world economy. And if you want my opinion, it was not at all accidental. They want to go to a digital currency, digital ID. If you don't believe me and you think that conservatives only get their information from Fox News, look up the World Economic Forum, which is it's a conglomerate of globalist NGOs, non-government organizations, as well as governments, and they look at their plans for the fourth industrial revolution or the Great Reset. It's fucking mind-boggling how planned out the next phase of human society the World Economic Forum has. I mean, I should do a live stream where I go through it, because I signed up for the website and I've got a login and everything, and I'll do that. But yeah, anyways, check out the World Economic Forum's own website and look at how eager they were to reset things. They're using the coronavirus as a catalyst, and this is, I mean, in their own words, they say something to the effect of, coronavirus has crippled the economy and brought the world to its knees, the global economy, the global community. But we've got a great opportunity to change all this shit to the way that we want it. And tell me that wasn't planned. It's been up for, I stumbled across it in probably April. And the amount of information and the way all the different considerations are intertwined with each other, I'm going to quit trying to explain it because I can't do it justice, but it's mind-boggling. But yeah, I don't remember where I was. It irritated me. It's just so shameless. I started graying in my 20s, sir. I will have you know. I don't know what to do with that comment. But yeah, I started graying way before 30. I'm 33 now. I'm the Jesus age. I don't plan on dying before December. But yeah, you can't really tell until it gets longer. Then I start looking wise. Ah, see? Good call. So yeah, that's sort of been my conclusion. And I was starting to go there with the atheism thing, but I don't really want to be disrespectful to a lot of people in that community that I do like and get along with. But it does seem to me like atheism as an identity or community or label or activity or whatever, it seems that it's very much grounded in hostility. And I don't know if it's warranted or not. I don't know everyone's story. I do recognize that a lot of people have had a lot more pain in their life than I have due to religion or, growing up in a cult or being gay in a really conservative Christian environment. I mean, just these sort of things that I haven't had to deal with. I was raised in a Christian family and have most of my adult life been not really anything, but my Christianity, my family's Christianity was very, white bread. It wasn't intense. It wasn't crazy. I'm not I'm not a closeted gay person in a very strict religious community or anything like that. I just don't have that shit going on. So, I don't know what people go through, but it does seem like there is well over half of the people are harboring animosity towards whatever their parents or the community they grew up in or God. I sort of think that there at least a decent chunk of them that actually do believe in God, but are mad at him. So I don't know. That's just my speculation. I mean, otherwise, really, why bother? Phew, I'm getting far behind. Hunting the beehive. Is a beehive a euphemism for vagina? Tay Tay. I haven't been called Tay Tay by a dude in God, at least a decade. If that demoralization is a reference to what's his name, the Russian KGB defector, fuck, Yuri something or other, then nice reference. If you guys don't have a clue what that is, and I bet most of you don't, you should look up what's it called? The dude's name is Yuri something, and he described the process of ideological subversion. Use that phrase, ideological subversion. And he worked in the KGB for a long time. He defected to the US, and he describes the process of demoralizing people using culture. And boy, have we been fucked up. Real interesting. Biden has teleprompter screens. You can get on. I just retweeted video from his rally, and the dude's camera's on Biden, and then it turned, and the teleprompter screen is just fucking right there. That dude's brain is melting. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him. Agree. Yeah, I mean, for sure I had a right to be mad, but scumbagging up and kind of ending early the whole live stream because one of their admins offended my sense of justice was a little much. How do I make the distinction? You should look up. I just did some videos with Joyce Ming on her channel where we go over this. There's a group of ESTPs and a group of ESFPs, and we sort of discuss the differences. That'll answer that question really well. If I remember, I'll drop the link in the comments. But yeah, Joyce Ming, and actually Sunday, I'm doing another interview video with her. It'll be me and one other dude who's an ESFP 8 wing 7 sexual social. So we've got the same Enneagram type, but he's an ESFP and I'm an ESTP, and we're going to do sort of a comparison and contrast. So Which information? I don't know what you're referring to. Exactly. And it's, I mean, if it's what they're doing now to a large degree in China, you've got a social credit score, everything's electronic. So my social credit score would be completely fucked. I can't even keep my Facebook profiles open. But so, for instance, having any conservative, non-progressive values. So I am wearing a hat with Trump giving you the middle finger. That would be a big strike to my social credit score, as would my pro Second Amendment views, as would be I've got a felony conviction that is already sort of hurting my social credit score. Just basically everything about me is not a compliant subject. And so when your social credit score goes down, like in China, one thing they do is they start refusing you bus service. You go on, scan your ID, can't get on the bus. You've got a low social credit score. Your social credit score will drop if you associate with people with lower social credit scores. So none of you fucks would want to hang out with me because associating with me would bring yours down. So it really serves to isolate those people out, and everything's connected to the grid, like the locks on your house. Your shit drops low enough, you can't get into your house, you're locked out. So yeah, it's absolutely all about control, and it's a nightmare. I see some 5G, some 3G talk. I don't think I'm not educated enough on that stuff to feel confident discussing it. But I can tell you that the way that it was being rushed to be installed and through Huawei and other Chinese companies, it's really good thing that Trump got elected and kind of jumped in the middle of that, because they were coming to put us in an electronic prison at the very least. I think a lot of that stuff will come out when the Forager and his dad Dan, when those hard drives are opened up more. But that was going to be bad news for us. Real bad news. I don't think that it was that they were being built to be actual, like, laser guns that zaps people, or that they were gonna. I don't even really think that I buy the mass murder thing. They were gonna just turn that shit up and kill people. I mean, I'm not gonna write it off, but I don't think that's likely. I think that if you start getting into AI and a lot of that shit, I think that the 5G bandwidth is necessary to support that sort of infrastructure. And when you've got AI and a completely digital currency and a completely digital social system, I mean, it runs itself, but I think that's what they're building for us. I'm an atheist. I don't see a logical reason to believe in God because there's no evidence. Do you have a logical reason to not believe in God? So on this, like, I understand how somebody would be an atheist, and say, I don't believe that. Or an agnostic. I think agnostic is really the most logically reasonable position somebody can take. But to turn that into a part of your identity and to make a morning show based around atheism or a YouTube channel, you know, they've got conventions. Like, being an atheist is a big fucking thing for a lot of people. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand making that such a cornerstone of your identity. But it is for a lot of people. And, you know, it's, they don't talk about atheist things. There's nothing to talk about. Look at this amoeba teaching himself to swim. But there's a culture there, and it's a lot of progressive, left, liberal, science fiction. I mean, it's very leftist, and it's got sort of a nerdy bent, and a lot of them are real nice, but there's a certain arrogant undertone to, not arrogant, it's spiteful to the point of complete disregard for the truth. So, which I get, people are emotional, people ignore reality all the fucking time. As an SE Dom, I see that all the fucking time. It drives me nuts. But I do think if you're going to pat yourself on the back for being rational, you got to do it. I do think that, I will say though, that I think that atheism as a perspective, the belief that there is not anything more, or, you know, more supernatural, whatever, is intellectually dishonest. It's hubristic to think that we can know and see and be aware of everything. It also ignores all sorts of crazy phenomenon in real life, like for instance, when I was in high school, I was in a car wreck. We rolled my buddy's car, and the minute I got out of that car, I had a text from my dad asking if I was okay. It was like 1 a.m. on a Saturday. My dad never texted me. I mean, that's not a normal text, but the fact that I got probably the only "Are you okay?" text at 1 a.m. from my dad randomly, right after rolling a fucking car. You know, just little things like that. Things happen that you can't explain, and to think that we can explain everything ignores. I mean, it's absurd, really. Also, think that we would be able to see everything. I mean, Wi-Fi. I don't know. I think that's probably right. But I do think that, I mean, atheism, the belief in nothing is a faith system. So for me, the way I see it, you don't get any logic points at all for being an atheist. You are no different than any other religious adherent. You don't have proof or evidence for it. So. Yeah, I mean, I gave a very petty, trivial example, kind of intentionally. I'm not trying to get down into weird, kind of heavy stories right now, but you really have to want to deny some things to hold on to that denial. And even I saw a TED talk by a guy who worked with the CIA. He was a scientist of some sort, but talking about the CIA's remote viewing program that they had for decades. He worked in it basically his whole adult career. He's an older guy and wrote books on that. I mean, this is a science dude. And he said, this is absolutely real remote viewing, which is like telekinesis, that sort of psychic shit. He said it's real, and he's seen it happen for decades. He's got tons of proof. And he said, sorry if you can hear the noise. I've got my daughter and her cousin right above me. He said that he does not believe that humans are localized entities. He thinks we are non-localized entities, which means that Taylor isn't really sitting here in this chair. Taylor's everywhere, or multiple places. I don't know the details of it, but that was real interesting. Oof. What kind of car were you in? Agree. And a level deeper down the atheism belief system is anti-theists. I'd never even heard of this shit. And they are what they sound like. They're anti-theistic. So there are some pretty that's where you find more of the hostile people, is the anti-theists. You really got to be bitter to be against something that, whether or not religion or religious people execute their intentions or their stated whatever, well, that's a different thing. But basically all religions are fundamentally, about being better people and spreading more love, like at the core. That's what they claim to be about. That's what they're supposed to be about. Do they fuck it up? Sure. But to make yourself ideologically opposed to something that's about like love and shit, so it's a hard ethical position to hold. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, most of my adult life, I've been perfectly content actually not having anything there. It felt like the only right solution for me was to say, I don't know, I'm agnostic at best, because I don't know. I don't think I don't think I'm supposed to know, or I probably would know. And that's it. And I didn't stress about it for a long time. But people don't seem to share my perspective on that. Yeah, modern Christianity is a cafeteria religion, and it's a very different. It's just different from what I think it should be. If you go through the Gospels and read Jesus's words only, he wasn't that nice. Like, Jesus wasn't really that fucking nice. He was kind of snappy and would tell people shit to their fucking face. And yeah, he just wasn't kind and tolerant of everyone's bullshit and all that stuff. But we've got this this culture of basically nice idiots, which makes sense as a control measure. If you're an evil pope and you want to control people, then you do start watering them down into compliant idiots. But and I'm 33. I'm sure there are lots of other, Christ-like things about me. I'm a white man, right? Everybody knows Jesus was a white man. For sure. And yeah, the preachers, the priests, all those fucks. God's truth is unpopular in modern times. I don't know. When you say God's truth, I don't know what exactly you're thinking of. But if you watch a lot of the things happening around the world and in politics and things that are kind of shaking up to the surface of public awareness, I don't know that I agree with that. Yeah, and then they also did confession. Confession is a really crafty institution that the Catholic Church put in to place because, I mean, give me all your secrets. I got blackmail over you fuckers all day long. I'm not following. Yeah, I mean, and that's something else that I actually have been working on myself about for a long ass time is just, you just can't beat somebody to death with the fucking logic stick. That didn't work in my marriage. It doesn't work in general. And some people just don't want to accept reality. I mean, that's it. One of the things that the Daily Atheist Morning Show keeps mentions almost daily is how there are really more Biden supporters than Trump supporters, and the country is much more progressive and blue and liberal, and Biden's going to win because America wants Biden to win. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Nobody believes polls. Polls are all bullshit. But if you look the fuck around, I mean, just get on Twitter and look for footage of a Biden rally versus a Trump rally. And y'all go into the Biden car parade tomorrow? No. Boat parade, no. Trump's filling stadiums. He's a fucking rock star. And if you look at the Biden rally footage, there's more Trump supporters at Biden's rally than there are Biden supporters. So to say that the popular vote isn't for Trump, it is for Biden, is just willfully ignorant. That's not the Jesuses. That's the Kurt Cobains. And who's that chick that didn't want to go to rehab? Amy Winehouse, right? I mean, here in America, we've got a federal registry. I mean, pedophiles or sex offenders have to register, and so you can get on the FBI or the state Bureau of Investigation, like here in Kansas, the KBI website, and look up registered sex offenders. Some states also register violent offenders and drug offenders, like Kansas, which registers drug offenders because we are apparently also dangerous to society. By drug offender, they mean somebody convicted of drug dealing, not drug using. So, but yeah, but the sex offender thing, that's a federal, that's across the country. Yeah. Oh yeah, Twitter is going full censorship. YouTube scrubbed all the basically any channel of any significance that was involved in the 17th letter of the alphabet movement at all. I said earlier, I had another channel that was, I don't know, a little bit smaller than this one, but it was growing way faster. And it basically, I just took things that I thought were worth people seeing, but had a tendency to get lost in the internet, and I would just upload it there. And so there was a lot of, Epstein shit, down the Epstein rabbit hole, down the Bill Gates rabbit hole, all that stuff. But that channel got zapped at the same time as all the other bigger YouTube ones did. So I've got a channel down. But yeah, I am referring to the son as Forager and his father is Dan for the sake of AI censors. Well, that's maybe a little bit much. Sounds like a mess. I don't believe so. I mean, all the numbers are so skewed and shit. I don't think Hillary got the popular vote at all. I think that they scrounged up, they fudged some numbers after the fact and tried to make it look like she did. But who likes Hillary? Who likes Biden? I mean, Hillary's the world's most unlikable woman. Well, I thought she was until AOC and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. But just if you ignore the numbers and the stats and the MK Ultra media, which is actually the CIA, if you ignore all that bullshit and noise and just, tune into your gut feeling on things, you live in America, you live in the fucking world. Do you think that there were more Trump voters than there were Hillary voters in 2016? I don't. I mean, of course, I live in the Midwest. This is a very red part of the world, but still, I mean, I didn't, by a landslide in 2016. I thought Trump had way more supporters than Hillary, and I think in 2020, Trump supporters are even more energized. Biden's support is, I mean, I don't know who literally nobody supports Biden. Trump is running against the media. Oh my God, I wish they would stop squeaking. Stop squeaking! Yeah. Biden's a joke of a candidate. He's got a melting brain. He's corrupt as fuck. He sniffs children. Everything's just more extreme than they were last time. Right. Trump is running against the media, in my opinion. But there's just a certain segment of the population that have Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, they locked Kayleigh McEnany out. And by the way, she's a fucking dime. She's so hot. Maybe I'll make a thumbnail for this with her on it. Somebody blocked you for that? Well, let them go. You know what? If people block you for having your own opinion, you don't need that sort of negativity in your life. I don't think I can't think of a situation in which I'd go, you know what, your opinion is different than mine, and you said it, so fuck you. If somebody disagrees with me, I want them to say it. I don't want them to let it fester and grow. I want them to come out with it. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong occasionally, and I'd prefer to correct my wrongness than to continue to live in it. If that is the case, if it's not the case, I would like to correct their wrongness. And if they insist on being wrong, well, for one thing, something like this doesn't affect me at all. So if it doesn't affect me, I don't give a fuck. But if it does affect me, I want to know where the crazies are at. Oh yeah, I do. If your comments are getting edited out, it's probably a cuss word or a link. They pull some of this shit out on their own. I don't. Democrats push a different kind of degeneracy than the ESTPs do, because we're above board with it, and it's like degeneracy that you're really okay with, right? It's like strip clubs and booze sort of degeneracy. It's not pedophilia and gaslighting your opposition, sort of degeneracy. Um, a bit ago. Was that today? Was that today? A bit ago, or like a few days ago? Yeah, the beard's getting a lot of commentary. What do you think? You're the fashionista. Beard or no beard? Yeah. Well, um, you know, sometimes I misinterpret things when I'm trying to catch up for the comments. We do seek truth. Which, if you always seek truth, your position is always way more defensible in an argument. It's crazy. Oh, well, what are you doing? I'll message you back right now. There you go. You don't like my wisdom? Uh, see, it's so defined, like here and here. Mm-hmm. I'm not. That is true. I'm not TWFP. Your beard is red. That's a good color for beard. I'm trying to grow my shit out long enough to where I can braid it like a Viking. Hey, I just messaged you though. Pay attention to me here. I've never thought strip clubs and booze were for me per se, but I'm an INFJ. I've held myself to a ridiculous moral standard all my life, and I'm learning to let it go for the greater good. It's an interesting comment. INFJs are generally not as into booze and strip clubs as ESTPs for sure. And you're letting your moral standards go for the greater good, which looks to me like a recognition that people who have, which actually it's really common with NFJs, but that moral standard that's up here is egotistical and narcissist. It's a little bit narcissistic most of the time. People have high moral standards, even though they like to pat themselves on the back for it or present it like, my biggest flaw is working too hard. That sort of shit. Like my moral standards are too high. But who are you doing it for? You're doing it for yourself because you're a closet narcissist. Not you specifically, the greater you. I just projected out onto basically all NFJs. House parties are a blast, to be honest. Well, we give fucks, Dead Cross. You're a 5 wing 4, so you're probably an introvert, and I would say you're more likely to be a Gamma Quadra. Most likely to be a Gamma Quadra. Possibly Delta. Gamma, then Delta. Is where I put that. INTJ, ISFP, INFP. Any of those sound like maybe that's you? Maybe INFJ. You might get test results that say you're an INFJ, but you're probably not really an INFJ. I have to take your word for it. Actually, I could see that just based off the comments. I could see TI. Gamma Quadra. Yeah, making things pretty. I mean, that's probably not wrong. A lot of people get INFJ test results. INFJ, ENTP, super common. INTP. Once you pointed it out, and I kind of thought about it for a second, I could see how your comments and your thought process have a TI structure to it. I mean, it's far from conclusive, but I can kind of see what you're talking about. Man, life is not that complicated. It's just hard. People complicate it to try to get out of doing hard shit. That's true. And I suspect that having FE higher up in the stack makes it harder to, like at a strip club, objectify somebody. I mean, there's certainly the way that ISTPs can make something mechanical with precision. That's a sort of beauty. That's an ST beauty. But by your standards, yeah, I'm sure that you don't appreciate a fresh bolt carrier group assembly in an AR-15 like an STP would, and I don't appreciate clothes as much. I did see the 2020 Gucci lineup, the little fashion show, and my fucking God, it's the gutter. Gucci's garbage. I don't know if it's always been garbage, but 2020 Gucci is garbage. Yeah, well, and I mean, to some extent, objectification isn't bad, right? If you're at a strip club, you're there to objectify women, theoretically, and they want to be objectified because they're there for the money. So to act like objectification in that context is a bad thing. It sort of misses. There's no situational awareness. The fact of the matter is, a stripper is not your wife. It's not your mom. You don't bring the same standards to this interaction. They're using you for the money. You're using them for the sex appeal. I mean, it's a transaction. And if you understand that it's a transaction and that everybody's engaging in it voluntarily, then you realize that objectification isn't a bad thing. It's not wrong here. It's good. It's what everybody's here for. And that by not objectifying these women, you're oppressing them with your morals. So there you go. I just justified objectification of strippers for you. Well, I don't know if it was very insightful, but my pleasure. I'm getting close to wrapping things up. Let me do some house cleaning. One, it's too far away, but check out BitChute because it doesn't censor. BitChute.com/channel/flowstate is my channel. You should make a BitChute account because you're going to want to move off YouTube eventually anyways. It's just sucking more and more every day. And BitChute is the in my opinion, the best, most established alternative. There's Brand New Tube and a few others, but BitChute seems to be the most established. It's also where I'm at. So check it out there. If you've been trying to get a hold of me on Facebook, I have 2 days left in my 30-day Facebook jail sentence. And I'm sure I'll get kicked off there again promptly. I am on Twitter. That's probably Twitter or Messenger is probably the best way to get a hold of me if anyone's trying. Discord's inconsistent. This is what I'm here for. Touche. That is true. Then hopefully you're not engaging in that transaction. I do what I can. Good. So go stimulate the economy and take care of single moms and medical students and go to a strip club. We understood what you were talking about, motherfucker. All right. Yeah, I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I like Facebook because it's a Rolodex. I don't know if it's an FI polar thing or what, but I don't keep in touch with people. I don't feel the need to keep in touch with people. I sort of feel like whatever the dynamic of our relationship was the last time we talked, whether it was yesterday or 10 years ago, like I'll just pick it right back up where I left off. I think it's an FI polar thing. But anyways, part of being Taylor is that you meet a lot of people. You get along well with a lot of people. You fall out of touch with a lot of people, but you can always go back and reconnect with those people. Facebook is a fantastic Rolodex for me to keep track of. I don't even know how many friends I have. 1,300, and I know basically all of them. I never accepted friend requests from people I didn't know until like the last year. I started accepting friend requests. If I can tell it's somebody from the type community, then I'll accept it, even if it's somebody that I don't know. But so I'd say a solid 1,200 out of the 13 or 1,400 are people I real life know. And so having that Rolodex there is valuable to me. That is a bigger question than I'm probably going to tackle all the way right now because I'm kind of wrapping up. But I can feel it viscerally. And it's probably an SE thing because I'm an SC dom, and I can tell with an ENTJ, they're not. But it is visceral, and that's not a very useful answer. FI versus FE, I think, is the easiest thing to look for. ENTJs would never see like this when I live stream like this, even though in Dave and Shan's system I'm blast last, so actually doing live streams is kind of not natural to me, but to the extent that it is, what I'm doing right now is basically FEing. I'm getting some interaction and whatever. This is an FE recreation for me. ENTJs would never do that. They don't enjoy that shit. They don't get it. They can be charming. They can be charismatic, but there's normally a reason for it. And if you pay attention to the context of the charisma, you'll notice it sharp stops. Like, and okay, I'm off stage. And then it sort of dies off. Also, if you get to know them a little better, FI is way different from them. They got 4-slot FI. That FI is finicky. ENTJ FI is volatile. It's basically a big baby. ESTP FI is not bothered by it. I don't know. I explained that poorly, but I've been doing this for almost an hour and a half. I'm getting a little brain soggy. I saw that he and Eric have been going at it. He's not what he claims he is. I don't know what he is. I don't care what he is. He's just not a good discussion partner in any capacity. That's an interesting observation. Anthrax, if I send you a link, do you want to jump on and explain that real quick? You have my attention. I watched a couple minutes of it, not very much. I saw that it was there. Anthrax, I'm still interested in the experience you're describing here. All right. Do you can email me? You can email me there, or you can send me a message on Twitter. Fuck out of here. Whichever you like, and let me know, and I'll send you a link. You know what? Fuck it. But it's not like people are fucking banging down the door to get in here. Feel free to hop in. you guys getting background noise here, like the floor squeaking and the toilet flushing and shit? Is this spot inconvenient? Man, next month I think I'm going to vote for, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm undecided. I mean, I kind of like Trump, but the way Biden says "come on, man" is it's non-threatening, and I like non-threatening, dude saying "come on, man."
Oh, hello.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Good. So your comment interested me because it's kind of it's half about me, and it's an observation of someone else's experience.
Well, okay. Well, what I see is when I'm talking to ENTJs, I always find that it's a you got to do what I think because this is what you should do. But when I'm dealing with ESTPs, I find it's more of a persuasion, if you know what I mean.
I do.
They're trying to convince you that this is the right thing and this is what you have to do because it is the right way to go. That's just my general observation of it.
If I convince somebody to do something and to think it's their idea, then that's really like, I feel that's like a top-notch, great success for me. And I'm aware of that too. Like I want to help people come to the conclusion I want them to come to on my own. So that is, yeah. I mean, I think that you're dead right. TE DOMs don't seem to realize that everybody's not a TE DOM.
Yeah.
So by chasing goals and helping people with TE shit, they just assume that everybody wants that the way that they would. I think at least that's how it appears.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm working two angles here. I'm trying to get my computer up so I can hop back into the chat and then live chat.
Yeah. However, no pressure. I just saw that comment, thought it was interesting. And my dad is an ENTJ, which was a pain in the fucking ass.
I can see how that'd go bad.
Luckily, they're busy a lot, but we get along better the older I get.
Yeah, well, everybody matures on every side, right? So
I don't know. I think I'm getting less mature.
Less mature? I mean, I don't think that's the case.
I'm getting less. I don't know what the word is for it. Maybe probably more mature, but also more comfortable with, like just letting it all hang out.
Okay.
Did that make any sense?
Oh yeah.
And you're an INFJ.
Yeah.
I like hearing INFJ perspectives on people. I think that they're by and large the most accurate much of the time, except on themselves.
It takes a while to even get close to accuracy. I mean, it takes a lot of thought.
But you guys do it.
Yeah. I can't help it. I have to overthink everything. It's just the way it is.
NFJs are interesting that way. I was talking to Kat, who she did some Enneagram videos back in the day.
Let me shut this off here. There we go.
But yeah, I was telling her that I think NFJs have a way of, when they understand somebody, like they understand them to their fucking core, in a way that I don't understand myself or anybody else, for fucking sure. But I think that
Yeah, it's a
I
little
think
disturbing sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've actually felt people's emotions above my own, and this is just it's disconcerting for me because then it took me a while to realize that, wait a sec, this is my FE taking over, and it's running a bit wild. So
Yeah.
that was a bit of a shocker to me when that started happening when I was getting a bit older.
And I'm sure that challenge is magnified when you're a guy too. Uh, it seems like the over empathetic tendencies suit women easier than men. My ex-wife's dad is an ENFJ, and I've had a hell of a time observing him hit some of these empathetic obstacles in his life that I don't face at all.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that. The empathy just doesn't seem to fit well as it comes to a man's frame. It doesn't really feel like it serves me in any particular way, but you struggle with it, just trying to connect the dots and trying to figure out your way through people, despite the fact that you have these limitations of maybe being considered less masculine because you are an intuitive. you know
Did you? Was it hard for you to do harm? Uh, and let me frame the question a little bit. I had to I talked to an INFJ friend who's younger and is not a dude, but she was in a situation where she needed to, uh, you know, needed to make a decision that was gonna be bad on somebody else, but it needed to be made, and she had a
yeah, that
real hard time like bridging that gap to actually causing the harm through their actions, if that makes sense.
yeah, that is difficult. I do find it difficult to actually cause people harm in that way, because it totally depends on the person I'm dealing with. If I perceive them as a good person, like there's no way in hell I would do anything to cause them any difficulties if I can help it. If I perceive them as a bad person, well, chances are I might actually go through them. you know.
I do know. Good for you. You should always go through those people. Yeah, I guess what stood out to me is that doing harm, allowing a situation to be a bad one through inaction was much more acceptable to her than taking action that would have still direct consequences, but lesser consequences. I felt like the inaction was causing more harm, but just actually being the one to pull the trigger was not what she wanted to do.
Yeah. Mm.
uh, yeah, no, it's just interesting for me to see that shit because I don't relate to it at all. There's that question on, I don't know if it's a psychopathy test or what. Would you push one person onto the train tracks if it stopped a train from hitting 6 other people, or would you let it hit the 6 other people so you didn't have to kill the one person? And I'm going, I'll kill the one person all fucking day long. That's not even a question for me.
Yeah. That is kind of a difficult question all at the same time, because I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean, the math checks out,
Right.
but at the same time, pushing a person onto the tracks, you know.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like inaction is an action. Not making a choice is a choice. You don't get to
Yeah.
you don't get to withdraw from life. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess if push comes to shove, I mean, and I guess in this case it does.
Would you push a fat person under the tracks to save 6?
I would have to be 100% certain it would save the 6, like 100%. You know.
Yeah. So
You know what? If it would save all 7, I'd throw myself under the tracks. There you go.
So 20th Century Boy, in the question, you're standing on like a platform above some railroad tracks next to a big fat dude, and you can see that there's a train coming down the tracks, and over here there are 6 people standing on the tracks, and the train is going to kill those people unless you're willing to push the fat dude onto the tracks. Then you'll kill the fat dude, you'll save the 6 people. Do you push the fat dude or not? You don't get to be a martyr. That's a cop out.
That's not fair. I guess it's a split-second decision, right? So I would make it. I would make it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I would make it, and then I'd turn myself in for murder.
Well, if you get a copy from the ESTP, he'll be like, "Congratulations, hero."
Yeah, don't feel like one. Thanks.
We'll have some therapy and a beer on me.
I'm gonna go home and probably start my career as an alcoholic.
Well, at least those 6 people get to live their lives, and that one fat dude, he would have wanted you to do that anyways, probably.
Probably not. You probably would have been a wayfarer.
Well, unfortunately, he's not here to tell us how he feels. You would let the 6 people die? You would choose to let those 6 wonderful, people with their whole lives ahead of them die so that you don't have to push the fat guy? It's pretty selfish there. Pretty selfish. Well, he has to be fat because how else is he supposed to stop a train? All
okay.
Right. Well, thank you for explaining that a little bit more. I'm wrapping up still after 20 minutes. You got any more observations that are interesting before I get off?
I think I'm good for now. I mean, this was fun. I mean, anytime you want to do something like this again, you let me know, man.
Anytime. Thanks for coming on. And before we get off, do you think that I should shave the beard or keep the beard? Or dye the beard like Andy thinks?
I might say trim the beard.
Fuck that shit. Joe Shabadoo, you'll love alcoholism. You're going to love being an addict. Substance abuse is great. Rehab isn't even all that bad. You'll be just fine here.
Nice plug.
I mean, there are worse things in life than being an addict, like, I don't know, letting 6 people die on the train tracks. ISFPs are feisty. Don't be. That's correct. Don't be fat near the train tracks. All right, guys. I'm heading out, and thank you for joining me, Anthrax. Adios.
Thanks for having me. Take care.